what's up guys? I'm Aaliyah. Welcome to Different Church's YouTube campus. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe and put on the post notifications, and go ahead and follow our other socials on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're feeling generous, go to dfrnt.church and press the generosity button. And I hope wherever you are that God speaks to you and you come back next week.
Church, welcome. Hey, if you're part of the 615 location, wherever you're serving at, behind the scenes, and kids, wherever, thank you. And hey, if you're a part of our YouTube campus, I don't know where you are. Maybe on your treadmill, working on the hot girl summer, working the dad bod off. I don't know. Or maybe you're on the way to work, you're in the car, or maybe you're just still in, hey, it's okay. You're still in bed. That's cool. That's cool. I'll get in bed too, and I'll watch this as well. I'm just thankful that you're here. And hey, maybe you're new. We want to do 3 things here at Different Church, and I can't say it enough. And I was never super smart, right? I did leapfrog to learn how to read growing up. 3 things that we want to do here at Different Church. We want to go somewhere different. We want to do something different, all in hopes that we reach somebody different. So if you're on the YouTube campus, you're like, man, what's this spot about? Man, we want to do any and everything we can to unlock somebody's different. Make them know it's okay to feel the way you feel, to like the things you like. God made you that way. And hey, can I tell you something? It's getting hot outside, isn't it? It's summer. And you know how I know it's summer? I start getting calls to do something I don't like in the moment, but after I like it. I'm not a big water guy, okay? I don't do the beach. I don't really like to swim. I don't do that kind of stuff. But I get invited every summer to do youth camps, a couple, 2, 3, 4, however many. And so I just did, the beginning of June is a hot time. I just got back from a youth camp. And the youth camp was in Panama City Beach. And here's what I love about youth camps out of the many things that, because I did students for like 10 years. So I've done 10 years worth of youth camps, okay? And when I say 10 years, that doesn't mean one camp a year. I'm talking about, I honestly, 40, 50, 60 youth camps I've probably done in my life. And outside of kids smelling, being tired, getting sunburned, you know what I love most about youth camps? No matter how tired these kids are. And if you've ever worked at one, been to one, whatever, no matter how tired they are. I literally this past week saw a girl so sunburned, she had like blisters on her shoulders. No matter how sunburned you are, no matter how much brokenness you have in your life that you brought, you know what they still do so good at a youth camp? Worship. Worship. These kids are tired, are hungry, sweaty, disgusting, haven't showered. These kids, I saw a kid wear the same shorts every day. Darius went with me. Every day, I just kept seeing them. I'm like, bro, those are the same shorts. Same shorts, every single time. But you know what they did a really good job of? Worship. No matter what the condition was, they worshiped. They poured their heart out to God. And you know what adults don't do a good job of, honestly? I'm going to keep it real. Hey, this is Tyler. You know what adults don't do a good job of? Worship. Don't the conditions have to be perfect for you to have a good worship service, right? Okay, so the countdown just ended, the smoke's going, the lyrics have to be perfect on the screen, and the person has to be a good singer. I have to know the song. If I don't know the song, I get awkward. Conditions have to be perfect. You know what I do when I get stressed, when I'm tired, when life starts to suck, you know what I do? You know what my solution is? When at camp, a student's response to all this and the weakest of worship, you know what mine is? Take a nap. I'm going to take you to the crib real quick. I'm going to take a nap. Whenever I wake up, I'm praying the Holy Spirit does something. I'm going to just take the nap. You know what? We allow our worship to be stolen from us very easy. It just gets taken from us. Any sign of inconvenience, that thing gets snatched from us, taken from us. Oh, money's not right. I can't go to church. I gotta work an extra shift real quick to make. Stop. Oh, kids don't want to go to church. Stop. Worship. I think I told y'all, if you've been following Different Church for any amount of time, like 3 months ago, my car got stolen. Okay. And what I've left out of the story for most people, unless you know me very closely, the car I had a fob, okay? So you didn't actually put the key in the ignition, you had a fob. And I put the fob on the dash or something, and I went and did something. I forgot it. I got busy. I left it. And so when the person went to steal my car, I just let him have it, right? He just opened the car, saw the key, thought, oh, this is perfect, and took off with it. So when the police officer comes up to the door, she knocks on the door, and she said, hey, Mr. Sterban, I need to get a police report from you. I said, okay, cool. She said, so what are the keys in the car? And I felt lame, honestly. I'm going to keep it real with you. I felt lame. She said, were the keys in the car? And I looked at her, I was like, yeah. And she was like, why'd you leave the keys in the car? I was like, oh, I just got busy or something. She's like, was it a key? Was it a fob? And I was like, oh, it's a fob. She's like, oh, yeah, we get that quite a bit. I was like, okay, that's reassuring. I'm not just the only one. And I just let him have the car, didn't I? How many times in my life do I just leave the fob in my spiritual car? Oh, I'm tired, and the enemy just goes, oh, you're tired? Okay, cool, I'm just going to let the alarm clock. And we miss it. It just gets stolen from. Worship gets stolen from us so easy, and we allow it. We do. It's not like the enemy has to come up. Trust me, if you're like Tyler, the devil does not have to work hard to distract me, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it real with you. The devil, I'm probably the easiest Christian to mess with. He's just like, oh yeah, Tyler will mess it up. Don't worry about it. Just like check on him every now and then. That's it. That's all he has to do. Just check to see if the keys are in. Oh, he hadn't left them in today. Okay, he woke up, he read, he prayed, right? In our BTS, in our behind the scenes, as we're in our series where if I want to, nothing just happens overnight. A 2-hour movie takes 2 years of BTS. Same thing, music video, a company, a ministry, a calling, all of that. There's a BTS behind all success. And I think that in our BTS, we cannot forget worship. Worship. Even when I'm tired, even when I'm sunburned. Because trust me, whenever I was at the camp, dude, the second day, we thought we were grown men. We were going to show these kids how we wanted to play football on the beach. Oh, dude, I'm middle-aged, no doubt. If I had any question, if I was middle-aged, I found out this past week playing football. No doubt, no doubt. And I literally, no joke, I was preaching the camp, and I thought that afternoon before the service, I was like, dude, I don't even want to preach this thing. I'm too tired. I'm sunburned. I'm starting to peel. It is miserable. But in our BTS, in our waiting, in our behind the scenes, our worship will get us through these dead periods. These times when we don't see the finished product. We know we're called to something, but to be honest, it's gotten really vague, really gray, really dark, and I can't see. Your worship will get you through it. So, and this isn't just in Tyler's life, your life. Don't be discouraged. It's in the Bible. Every single person that we talk about, every hero of the faith we talk about has a BTS. David, he didn't just wake up and throw a rock. He had been trained by the lion and the bear. Daniel didn't just swan dive in with the lions and survive. There was prayer that he made a constant in his life. The walls of Jericho didn't just fall when they walked up. There was marching and shouting and faith and faith. And so now we pull up to a guy I kind of get. His name's Jonah, okay? So you have the Bible, you turn to the book of Jonah. And I want to give you just a little context to let you know, I don't know how familiar you are with Jonah. Jonah, as many people might not say he is, it doesn't sound like he is, Jonah was a prophet. He was a pastor. He was a man of God. And Jonah did what we all do. Jonah got called to reach this city called Nineveh. People say there are about 120 to 150,000 people living in the city. But you know what's crazy about this? And a lot of people, this isn't just speculation. You can read it. A lot of people say Jonah didn't want to reach the city of Nineveh due to racial differences. Jonah was very much so divided by races. And he said, and there's multiple passages like, hey, do they really? Them? And so we see this man of God, this pastor, this prophet, he's missing it. And when God says, hey, I want you to go save that city, I want you to go tell them. You know what he does? He turns his back on God. He starts walking the opposite way, literally as far away from the city and the assignment that he's supposed. I've done it. Dude. Hey, I've done that. God, you want me to do that? Okay, cool, peace, deuces. And I walk the exact opposite, knowing God's doing something in me. So we have this guy named Jonah. He leaves. He says, God, I'm not doing what you want me to do. I don't know if you can relate to that. I can relate. God, I'm not doing that. So he starts walking the other way. And he gets on a ship, and the ship takes off. And while they're on the ship, Jonah decides he's going to sleep. So he goes to sleep. A storm happens, and the guys on the ship start grabbing stuff, start throwing it out, grabbing stuff, throwing it out, thinking it's going to help them get through what they're going to get through, or the storm. And then they go, oh, well, we got to wake up this dude. He's got to start working. We're not going to be the only one. So they grab him. Jonah sees what's going on and goes, hey, it's me. Hey, guys, it's me. So they kind of get mad. What do they do to Jonah? They snatch him up. They throw him overboard. And at the exact same time they throw him, a fish swallows him. Or if you grew up like with Veggie Tales or something, a whale swallows him. And a lot of people like to talk about that part. And a lot of people like to talk about the end, where he goes. Not a lot of people talk about, the BTS. What did he say inside the fish? What got him out? Because if I'm asking a question, if I'm having an inside a fish waiting, I ran from my calling, I need to get out, I want to do what God has called for me, how do I get out of this fish? Well, then I want to know what chapter 2 says. Jonah chapter 2. So if you have a Bible, Jonah chapter 2, and we're only going to be in verse 7 through 10, okay? This is Jonah's inside, and they said it's a fish, and a lot of people, it's not like the Pinocchio, the big whale, and he's just sitting there, and he has a huge, some say he is inside a fish, just like this. While he's there, he says these words. And I think if I need to hear any words in my life, it's Jonah chapter 2. In my BTS, in my waiting, in my God, how did I get here? What am I doing right now? It's here. So let's go to verse 7. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord, and my earnest prayer went out to you in your holy temple. Those who worship false gods turn their backs on all God's mercy. But I will offer sacrifices to you with songs of praise. And I will fulfill all of my vows. For my salvation comes from you alone. Then, remember, we say then every single week. Then the Lord ordered the fish to spit Jonah onto the beach. And this is just me thinking just right now, the fish, I've never read this before, this is right now. The fish was close to the beach, waiting for Jonah to say these words. He was close to the shore. He was right where Jonah needed to be. All Jonah had to do was say these words. Was to come to this realization. I think in my life, I think God has us in our season of waiting really close. We can't see the beach, we can't see the shore, but we're super close and we're missing something in our BTS. And I think this is it. Verse 7. The first phrase, the first sentence. As my life was slipping away. Slipping away. You know, slipping. You ever just woken up one day and went, how did I get like this? You ever woken up and really tried to figure out this dad bod didn't just happen overnight. I've been working on this thing for years. I didn't see it happen day 1, day 2, day 3. It slowly slipped. My diet slowly slipped. And now I look like this. And I've seen in my own spiritual life, especially during the summer, I didn't used to drink this much. I don't know how I got here. We never used to argue this much. I don't know how we got here. We slipped. Slipping is a process. We slowly drift away from God. And I see Jonah. You think Jonah, when he signed up to be a prophet, he thought he would run out on God? You think when he when he first came to know Jesus, when he first started reading the Torah, when he first started preaching, you think he would ever think of himself as somebody that didn't want people to get saved? No! Jonah was on fire at one point, but he slipped. He says it. And I slipped away. You don't see it coming, do you? Your marriage, you don't see it getting the way it does. It's years. Your finances, your addiction, whatever. You slip into it slowly. You don't look like, I had somebody tell me this one time, you don't look like what you ate yesterday. You look like what you ate 2 months ago. It slowly happens. And I see in my life, the summer is the perfect time. I remember whenever I was getting really crazy back in the day, whenever I was like in high school and stuff, like I drank, I messed around, I did whatever. But I'd get to the end of the summer, I'd go, oh man, how did I end up here? I'm never this bad. Well, 3 months, June, July, August, I never missed church this much. June, July, August, you slip away. But what's the cure? So I've slipped, I'm slipping, I feel myself. What's the cure? Well, he says it right here. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord. I remembered. Worship reminds you. Worship is a reminder of God's goodness. That's why you do it. God, Lord, you are good and your mercy endureth forever. You just sing, Lord, you're good. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're powerful. You're in control. Worship reminds you of who he is. I decided to do some digging. You know how long your short-term memory lasts? 15 to 30 seconds. Then it's gone. Then I ask myself, how many meetings have I been that I can't remember? I couldn't tell you what I preached on 2 weeks ago. Couldn't tell you. Gone. You know how many church services I've sat through? You know how many worship songs I've listened to that I don't remember at all? I hardly remember what I read every single morning in the Bible. You forget. 15 to 30 seconds. That's almost a thing to me. Every 30 seconds, remind yourself that the Lord is good. Worship reminds you. When was the last time, just every single time you felt yourself slipping away, Lord, you're good. Every time you feel yourself getting a little anxious, Lord, you're good. everything. It reminds you. And I'm forgetful. I will tell you, if I'm anything, I forget, and sometimes that's good. Hey, if you have a really, if somebody doesn't like me, I forget that really easy. Someone says something, my wife is the other way. She has a really good memory. Me, I don't. Good and bad. Ryan remembers experience. If you're like me and you forgot the last time and you really poured your heart out. You've done it. You've been there. You just forgot. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord. I worshiped. Your behind the scenes has to have breaks. Break. Right? You're working. What does the camera crew do? Break. In those moments, you're worshiping until the next scene. You're worshiping. Because it reminds you, why am I here? And listen, where's he worshiping at? Remember, he's not worshiping in a church. He's literally right now. I can't even worship at a fish market, let alone worship literally inside of a fish. Couldn't imagine it. And he's in here saying, God, as my life slipped away, dude, it's wet, it's cramped, it smells. He's just hoping the fish doesn't swallow. As my life was slipping away, I remember the Lord. I remember the Lord. Listen, I'm going to get messed up. As my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord. And my earnest prayer went out to you in your holy temple. Verse 8, those who worship false gods turn their backs on all God's mercies. It's not if you worship. Hear me. It's not if you worship, because you do worship. Trust me. It's when and who you worship. Those who worship false gods. If you are waiting on money to get you out of your situation, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting on Donald Trump to get back into office, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting on Joe Biden to get out of office, or if you're waiting on Joe Biden to make this thing happen and really care, you're going to be waiting a long time. If you're waiting on your husband to get you out, it's going to be, if you're waiting to get married, if you think, man, if I can just get booed up, it's going to change it. No, it's not. You're probably worshiping that. What consumes your mind? What consumes your thoughts? I'll tell you right now, I'll do like 10 minutes of reading the Bible, and I don't even want to check my phone about like my TikTok usage. Don't even want to check it. And then I wonder why I'm stressed. It's not if you worship, trust me. You're worshiping something. It's when and who you, or what and who you worship. It is. It says that those who worship false gods turn their backs on God's mercy. You're missing out. There's only one person. Hear me. There is one person that can get you out of your mess. There's one person that can get you out of your fish. There's one person that can get you through this BTS, and his name is Jesus. And he is the only one worthy of our praise. If you had any question as to what Tyler believes, what difference, there is one person that demands our praise, that demands our worship, and his name is Jesus. He's the only one that will get you through your mess. He's it. He's it. And if you look anywhere else, you are turning your back on everything God has for you. Well, it says God's mercies. And then we kind of get towards the end. Those who worship false gods turn their backs on all God's mercies, but I will offer sacrifices to you with songs of praise. Worship is required. That is one of the keys to unlock the doors that you're looking for. Worship. But you know what you know what I love? Listen. You know what I love about this? Jonah says he worships. He doesn't say he knows how to sing. Many of us, singing to worship is necessary. Being on pitch is not. It's not. If you're waiting, I can't worship, I don't know how to sing. Sing! You hitting the right notes does not mean anything. You being on beat does not mean anything. You being loud and screeching like an eagle doesn't mean anything. Just worship. That's it. But Tyler, man, I don't want people to hear. Who's going to get you out of your fish? Who? The person that's listening to you? The person that's judging you? You think they're going to get, or, bro, I'll screech all day long. Here, if you need permission to sing really bad, you've got it. You want to message us, you singing really bad, send it to us. Do it. I'll send you one back. I promise. I promise 1,000,000%. I've been singing bad for 10 years. Don't care. Because there is one person that's going to get me out of this. He deserves my screeching. It doesn't say Jonah knows how to sing, but he knows how to worship. We allow our insecurities to keep us back from everything God has for us. Hitting notes doesn't mean nothing to God. Sounding good doesn't mean nothing to God. Being on beat doesn't mean nothing to God. He wants your heart. That's it. That's it. But you know what it says? It says songs of praise. So we know he worships. But you know what it says right before? But I will sacrifice my songs of praise. Not I will joyfully walk in and start singing the most popular song. No, I will sacrifice my worship. It's going to hurt. He's in this fish sacrificing. I'm singing right now. I don't know if I'm ever getting out. If this thing swallows, I'm never going to make it. I don't even know if it's close to the beach. If he spits me out, am I going to drown? Sacrifice. You think I want to wake up in the morning and work out? You think I want to wake up and read? You think I want to wake up and eat right? You think I want to do all these? No. You know why I do it? I sacrifice because I know it's necessary to be where I need to be. Jonah knows I have messed up. I have been tripping. I turned my back on God. I'm here. I've got to sacrifice something. This worship's going to cost me. And so he sings. I sacrifice my songs of praise. And if you feel insecure about worshiping, because I've been there, trust me. Hey, I'm here. I tell you guys this all the time. I used to really contemplate, like, if my hand looked good enough when I raised it in church. I really did. And so I would think about my hand more than I think about my Heavenly Father. I would. The people that you're concerned about can't get you out of where you're stuck. Can't. Last thing, and then we're done, I promise. I know I say that all the time. I'm sorry. But I will offer sacrifices to you with songs of praise, and I will fulfill all of my vows. Maybe you love singing. You're like, oh man, worship's cool. No. There's an and. I will worship and I will fulfill my promises. How many times have I promised God, hey, you don't know how many times I am never drinking again, God. Promise, never doing that again. I am never texting that person. I'm never talking to this person. I'm never doing that. And I will fulfill my vows. You know what I've seen in my life? I like the perks of a relationship without the commitment of a relationship. Hear me. I love when God does good stuff for me, but when I don't hear him, when I don't see him, I kind of bail on him. Look at this. It's no different if you've ever been married before. Wedding vows. Look. I take you to be my husband or my wife, to have and to hold from this day further, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. I love God in the richer, in the health, but will I follow him in the poor? We love the perks of a relationship. We hate the commitment. I think God's waiting on us. Yes, you're worshiping, you're seeking him with everything you have, but are you committed to him in the fish, in the poor, in the sickness? Because honestly, we get to this is the last thing he says. These last 3 verses activated the gag reflex in this fish. I don't think it's on accident that right when he says, and I will fulfill every promise I've made to you, God. Because I'm sure he probably promised God a long time ago when he got called into the ministry, when he got called to be a prophet, God, I will preach your word. I will preach your word. I will do whatever you ask me to do. And guess what? He broke it. But the moment he said, I'm going to fulfill what you've called me to do, it shifted. And that's my prayer for you, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from in the room. Maybe you've caught yourself slipping. You never saw it getting this way. You never thought you'd get here. How did I get here? I'm however many years old, and I still am searching for whatever. I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm grown up. You have no idea. Or maybe you're just one of those people, man, my worship life is not what it is. And honestly, probably in the last year, I've been trying, in my personal life, been really activating worship in a way that I haven't in the past. Me personally. I've been around my house. I've been around my living room, really shouting something down. I've been really trying to up that because I know there's something in it. I know I'm activating something in the spiritual, in the heavenly realm. I know that I am. But it can get awkward. I'm just in a room alone, just walking around, kicking Barbies while I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. Or maybe you're just a person that, you've broken every promise you've ever made to God. I'm never cussing again, never drinking again, never doing this, never doing that, I'm never texting, I'm never talking to that person again. I'm done flirting with my coworker, I promise. And you've broken it. You've fulfilled it. Or maybe your vow is just you're called to do something in ministry, in finance, and whatever, and you're called, but you've been going the opposite direction, and you've got to fulfill what you and God talked about a long time ago. That's my prayer for you. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching, man, just say, God, man, I need to get out of this fish that I'm in. I need to get out of this situation I'm in. I'm with you. I'm running. God, we love you. We are so thankful for you and how you speak to us, even inside of a fish. How we're right up next to the beach. You're just waiting for us to commit to you, to be all in with you. God, I pray that wherever somebody's watching in the room, on our YouTube campus, God, I pray that they would know how much they mean to you. They would feel your love. They would feel your grace. They would feel your mercy. Wherever they are, inside of a fish, and that they would begin to worship when they're stressed, worship when they doubt, worship when they're anxious, worship when all of these things are caving in, that their response would be worship and nothing else, no one else. God, we thank you. We love you. We praise you. It's your name we pray. And everybody said, amen. Hey, what's up? My name's Tyler, and you are a part of our Different Church YouTube campus. And I just want to say thank you. I'm the pastor here. And here's a few things that you can do to stay a part. 1, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Be alerted anytime something drops or releases. We want you to be a part. We want you to be encouraged and inspired and figure out what your different is. But maybe you want to tell your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Maybe you want to send that. Just share it. Because what I've learned in ministry, people will open a link to a church long before they ever open the door to a church. And maybe you're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. Follow us, Different Church Nashville. Be a part. See what we're doing every single day. And maybe, last but not least, you're an OG. You're a real one. You really want to get plugged in. All you got to do is go to different.church. That's DFRNT.church to find out more about us, the church, how to give, how to be a part, all of that. But I love you, and I will see you next video.